All right. Okay. So we got to address the elephant in the room real quick. And
What's the elephant?
the elephant in the room is we have two big apologies to make. One, my fault, completely and 100% my fault. We are starting this podcast 40 minutes late. Dear Lord Almighty, that is my fault. So, you know what?
I tried to speed him up.
He did. No, well, he's not the responsible one. I'm supposed to be the responsible one, but you know what? I just had to spend some time with my family. And I'll tell you why.
That is fair.
I'll tell you why. So, you know, most people in America, you know, they when they grow up and they become adults and they move out, like, they only see their parents, you know, like twice a year. That's usually on Thanksgiving and Christmas, or maybe Easter and Christmas, or something like that. You know, you only see your parents, you know, twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, right? So we do know things about. I know things about cars. Go ahead and throw your question in. I'll hit you up on that.
I know how to change the oils, the water levels, and a tire, and I know how to drive them. That's about it.
But yeah, so like I don't, you know, I saw a video where, like, you know, most people only do visit their parents like twice a year. And then someone put it in, like, with this video, put it in perspective of me. You know, what if your parents only have 10 years to live, right? And you only see them twice a year? That's only 20 times you're going to see them until they pass away, right? I was just like, shit, that fucking sucks. I don't like the idea of that. You know, you could
always die sooner as well. That's the thing.
Yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? I was like, you know what? Shit. I just got to start making time to spend time with my parents, because I don't see them clearly enough.
Time is a serial killer. Time is the biggest murderer on this planet.
Ain't that the fucking truth? The other second big thing, that's apology, is I'm gonna just throw you under the bus. Sorry, dude, but if you hear kids screaming in the background, it's his kids.
It's my niece and nephew. I've told them to shut up. You know, I can only do so much. It's like 20 to 7, and it's still very bright out. Their bedtime is around like 9 o'clock, so they're just gonna play until they get told not to.
Yeah,
and there's nothing I can do about that. But I try and keep them on the other side of the house so they're not too loud. That is just how the bullshit goes, I guess.
Dang.
What can you do?
Yeah.
They're lovely kids, though. They're crazy.
They're kids. That's what they are. Yeah, they're kids. They're kids. That's what happens. Yeah. What are you gonna do about it? You can't control kids. I'll be lucky if my parents are both healthy and even living for another 10 years. I have older parents. They adopted me in my 30s. Yo, I'm almost 30 and I don't have kids yet. Don't scare me like that.
You know what's not as bad, though? So I have 4 siblings, 2 to my dad, 2 to my mom. And the 2 to my mom are the closest to my age. My sister is 30. My brother is, he's 4 years older than me. Math, 28. And then on my dad's side, he had kids when he was really young. So I've got 2 older Tongan sisters, which are both in their 40s, and I'm 24. My dad had me at 38, and my mom had me when she was 29. So, I mean, like, my dad's like really healthy still. I talk about it a lot with my partner, because her dad is he's got like arthritis and all these back problems and that. He's gained a lot of weight, and he's such a nice guy, but he's younger than my dad and he looks like 20 years older. My dad is just so healthy for his age. He's always doing something in the garden, always building something. If I need help with anything like woodwork related, first person I go to is him. I don't usually need help though, but if I do, you know, he knows a lot, and he's at that point where he could retire. Like he's almost 63, so like he's at the point where he can pretty much retire soon. But he's still in really good shape to just work until he's probably fucking 80. Like he's that kind of guy. So I mean, hopefully I get those good genes. I mean, I've got the receding hairline. Thanks, Dad. But other than that, you know, not too bad. Although I will say, I am not hat fishing. I wear the hat because I've always worn hats. I just wear hats all the time. My hairline isn't as bad
My
as
hairline's
TSD Red
great.
likes to make it
Oh,
out.
look at
You
my
got
hairline.
lucky genes, man. You are like a
Oh,
Hawaiian Jesus.
you wanna see this? Yo, I can't hear you, Shugs,
You
but
are
oh,
you are Hawaiian Jesus. You just need to grow it out a little bit longer, and you'll be sussed.
I got that hair for days. You want a freaking toupee? You choose my hair because it's the greatest.
I can grow hair for days as well. I'm quite lucky in that aspect. You see my arms? You may not be able to see it. Hairy as fuck. I look like Chewbacca's twin sister. I assume the females in Chewbacca's family aren't as hairy. Or maybe they're even hairier.
No, they are that hairy. They are hairy. Come on now.
I don't know. I love Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars
By
is
the
great.
way, did you see there is some new stuff coming to Star Wars, by the way? I want to real quick talk about that. So they've got a new game coming out. I think it's mobile, but it's like a 4v4.
Oh, I saw you watch that on your channel. Yeah, on your stream the other day.
It looks kind of interesting, but if
it
it's
looks
just
like a mobile game.
If it's a mobile game, I'll probably never play it. It looks like it could come to something like the Switch or something. It's like one of those kind of games.
Yeah.
It's not like a top tier thing that everyone's going to go crazy about, but it looks kind of fun. But they also have, I think it's called The Story of Boba Fett or something. So they've got a new series coming out, and I
can't wait for
live
that.
action series. That's going to be good. And they've also teased that an Obi-Wan Kenobi story is going to be coming out. Not as a movie though, a series. And I am okay with Disney making series because The Mandalorian, both seasons, fucking incredible. But the latest trilogy that they came out with, I've only heard bad things about the rest. Plus Han Solo, I really wanted that movie to be incredible. It just wasn't.
Yeah, okay, you know what? That's not fair to it. I hate it, but that's for personal reasons. I hate it because
I'm just the biggest fan of Han Solo.
I am too. I've read, so someone wrote books about it, and they did a very good. They had the Young Han Solo trilogy by A.C. Crispin. Fantastic, phenomenal read. Very simple, very easy read, actually. But it put into perspective why Han Solo is who he is. And just like, I was like, and even how he met Chewbacca and the whole reason why he loves Wookiees and all that stuff. Even though it doesn't show that he loves Wookiees, but he still loves Wookiees. And that is, and also why he hates, like, you know, you always hear Han Solo's like, he's anti-slave and slave trading and all that kind of stuff. And it puts into perspective everything about his life and all that. And it's just,
as to why he feels the way he feels.
Yeah. And also why he hates religion, you know, that his infamous line, you know, like, you know, was it, hooky religion or hooky, I don't know how to say that word. Hinky religion, hinky religions and lightsabers aren't as good as a blaster by your side. So
yeah,
I totally just beefed up. Or
he is my favorite.
You got Knox. You got Knox at your door.
I swear to God, it's kids.
No, it's your food. It's your food, bro.
What's the bit? The bit to be food.
At this time, he always gets food. At this time. We even started late. And he. Oh, it's not food. Oh well. So, but yeah, that whole book series, and then the movie came out, and I hated it because it wasn't like the books. That's my fault, though. That is completely and utterly my fault.
I just gave them the heads up because usually I am live or doing something where I'm trying to be all professional, and I got people knocking on my door, fucking 10 times a day. Future reference, message me. If you want me for something, just message me. So, as we were saying, Han Solo, my favorite character out of the whole entire series. I just feel like that movie just did not do it justice at all.
No.
I feel like they really dropped the bar with it.
I came in with really high standards. Like, so I don't, it was cinematically, it was a great film. It was well shot, you know, graphics were done great. I just hated it because it wasn't the story I wanted it to be. So, and I recognize my own personal bias towards it. That's my fault. Yo, Monster sponsor, by the way.
Yo, E2, you got me. I literally put this on blast every time I have one. Greatest fucking drink in the fucking world. Let's go.
It's just a Kiwi knockoff of Gatorade.
It doesn't taste like Gatorade though. It's just a juice. It's a juice. It's Gatorade's like flavored water, isn't it? I hate Gatorade. I can't stand Gatorade. At me for it. I don't care. I don't like it.
That's all up to you. That's all on you, homie. I don't care.
But yeah, like I gotta say, with the Han Solo movie, they had an incredible cast. I mean, I'm really into Emilia Clarke. Not because of Game of Thrones. I just think she's hot as fuck.
She is.
But she's a great actress as well. I gotta give her that. So I'm not trying to just say she's one of my favorite actors because of her looks and that. But yeah, like they had a really good cast. I liked the casting for a young Han Solo. I feel like he did a good job. It was just the story behind it. Just yeah, they really dropped the ball on
it. Joker, to answer your question, yeah, you can bring up a topic, and if we can get around to it flowing naturally, or if we need something, we can definitely hit upon it. Or if it's too extra spicy, we may or may. I'm not afraid of the spiciness, but yeah. So just for anyone who's watching right now, feel free to bring up a topic. I see good enough. You got your car thing figured out. I'm somewhat okay with cars. I am not a mechanic by any means necessary, but I feel like I have a decent enough knowledge about cars that that I can help. I listen to a lot of Car Talk. If anyone know what NPR Car Talk is, with Tim and Tet, the brothers.
Yeah, the most knowledge I have with the car is I owned one. I can change the oil levels, the water levels. I can change the tire. I know how to drive it. I know how to fill it up with gas. And I've played Forza. That's it. That's all I know. I'm pretty dumb when it comes to that.
Help you with the color of the undercarriage of a Commission 66 Thunderbird model. Gray, metal color. That's about as much as I know about the colors. Colors to me not good. This is why I don't do artistic things. That being said and all, yeah. Okay.
I reckon the best thing for anything artistic or for anything to look good is go for a simple color and an accent color. It's the exact same thing with the overlays that I make.
Except for it's the undercarriage. It's the undercarriage.
Yeah,
it's like your belly. You don't want, accent colors on your belly. You just want accent colors on your clothes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there's that. So that's when you just put the usual color. Like if you look at the podcast overlay, we've got the dark gray in the background. It's got a hint of little stuff in there. But the main thing that catches your eye is the gold. So if you don't want there to be much to look at on the undercarriage, if you want to have it like just a plain piece, you do the plain color and then the accent colors on the other pieces. I mean, yeah. I don't know much about cars. That's just my artistic prestige.
Yeah, you're so much more artistic than I am. But on the subject of cars, Chrysler 300. I think it's a flashy car, but it's a Chrysler, and if I remember, they don't actually make the 300 series much anymore, if at all. I think they discontinued that. At least in the United States they did. Elsewhere, I'm not too certain. But it's at least the American branded ones, or the ones that were here in America, not bad cars. They have their standard issues, like with most Chryslers, but I don't remember hearing any like crazy recalls about them like I've heard with other like Fords, Toyotas. Hell, Chevrolet had a pretty big one not too long ago, a couple years back. Oh, Volkswagen. Yeah, stay away from Volkswagen. Just be careful. That company is all sorts of shady.
I don't know nothing about this.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
One thing that I say a lot. I say that a lot on these podcasts. People bring up topics that I just know nothing about.
Well,
that's the key thing I say. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to it's better to be truthful and show your ignorance.
I'll just be one of those guys that just talks out of my ass. Yeah, the Chrysler's fucking I can't even do it.
Chrysler 300.
I like the name.
I mean, you would recognize it. I think it's a pretty iconic car, the Chrysler 300. If you saw it, you would recognize it. It's one of those things. It's one of those cars that you would see, like, the rappers in. I think actually when it first came out, it was the rapper's car. You put the spinners on it with the the 22s with spinners on.
Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
Now it's the what is it?
Oh, your audio just cut out.
Oh shit! I was saying, nowadays for the rappers, it's like the Lamborghini Aventador or something like that.
Yeah, or the Maybachs, the Maybachs as well.
Yeah. Rolls Royce.
So I've gone through
the bougie cars.
Yeah, I've gone through 3 different vehicles. 2 of them were pretty much the same truck. I had a 95 and then a 94 Ford Ranger. Both have had different engines in them. Currently, right now, though, I'm driving a vehicle that's a lot more stable. It's a 2015 Hyundai Sonata. It's an invisible car.
Oof. I drove a Mitsubishi Lancer 2006. That was my first car. And I think the next car that I'll get is probably a truck. I don't know what yet. I want a truck. Simply for just when I go camping and shit, there's just a lot of storage.
Okay, well, so here's the question:
camping, so.
Do you want like a big truck, like America truck, or do you want the more smaller style?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't really looked into it. I mean, my favorite truck of all time is a Ford Ranger. Can't tell you what year, but I just love the Ford Rangers. Also, a Toyota Hilux is really nice from what I like.
Yeah.
From a visual standpoint, I don't know much around the mechanics of it. And when I do go to buy my own truck in that, I will look into this type of thing. But right now, I'm not too fussed on really diving deep into it. But
Yeah.
that's the one thing I've noticed with a lot of people that I know personally. They go buy cars and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking cheap. What a score. What a steal." And then it shits out on them a month later. Like every time I've looked at a car, I've always dived into it, like dived into the specs behind it and everything, and like, is this the car that's gonna last me fucking 10 years?
Yeah,
if I don't crash it.
That
Yeah,
that's
So
what I
when I'm
did with
thinking
my
about-
Hyundai Sonata, actually.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's the smart thing to do, and also to take it to the mechanic. Just to, even if you just tip them like $20, just for them to just look at it, get them to test drive it, and see if something's going wrong with it.
Mhm.
Like if like, because the mechanics that I know, they're my mom's family friend. I took the car down that I was gonna buy, which was the first one I took was a Mazda Lantis, because they're not too bad, but there was just something wrong with the seats and that, and I don't know, something was going off with the engine, but they couldn't really pinpoint it, so they just like, I just wouldn't trust this car, so I was like, all good. Next car I bought was the Mitsubishi Lancer that I had, and they took it for a spin. They were like out for like 15 minutes. They came back and they're like, "Yeah, don't lose this car." They're like, "Spend decent money on it," and I was like,
Yeah.
"All right." And like, I never had problems, never, not once. It was just like the perfect car for a person's first car as well. Like, I think it had a 1500cc sized engine, so it was cheap on gas. It wasn't too hundies on, like, fucking engine size and everything going fast and shit. I don't care about that. I just wanted something to get me from A to B that wouldn't shit out. But I also wanted like a sedan that had enough room in it for, like, if I was to go joyriding with the bros or something like that, so someone could fit in the back. So like, there was heaps of leg room in there. Also, like, the boot space in that was what I was after.
The boot being the trunk.
Yeah, the trunk space, boot space, whatever we call it, boot space here. There's heaps of boot space and everything. Like, it was a perfect car for like road trips and everyday use, plus camping uses as well, because I would literally keep my whole boot just chocker full of all my camping gear at all times. Like, I'd never take it out.
Also a point of clarification, because I just realized this also might be it. When he said 1500 cc's, that's a 1.5 liter engine, so that's most likely a 4-cylinder engine.
Yeah, can't remember too much about it. I do
I
have somewhere still.
all I know is I watch those. I watch Mighty Car Mods. You know, those Aussie boys over there. You know, and I learned a lot of other lingo from across the pond, if you will, about the their, because every time Americans talk about it, it's horsepower, and horsepower instead of what was it? Not kilowatts.
I don't know. I think we say horsepower too.
Okay, Aussies say something different. But yeah, it's horsepower, cylinders, liters, not cc's, not any of that other stuff. But hey, not everybody knows that.
New Zealand is weird. We don't have a set way of saying things when it comes to that type of stuff. Like we've obviously got our own things. Like a lot of people like mock New Zealanders for the you know what I mean? But like with that, yeah, we say like 1.5 liter engine or 1500 cc. It's just everyone knows what you're talking about when you say that here. So it's like it's not like over here set thing. Yeah,
not over here, not in America. Because I remember the first time I was like 1500. They said 2000 cc's. I was like, what the heck is a 2000 cc engine? Oh, are you guys making engines over there different or something? Look it up. It's like, oh, a cc is basically a milliliter. Oh, there's 1,000 milliliters in a friggin' liter. It's like, oh,
yeah. It's just the same thing, just different. Well, I swear we're constantly having things like this, man.
Yeah,
I need to stop talking to Americans because everything just gets confused.
No. This is good. The Uncultured Gold is getting some culture.
Yes. That is something I did want to bring up, like when we were first like thinking of like what we should do on the podcast, like what we should do with it. Different ideas for different episodes, and one of them was like the difference between our cultures and that, because the New Zealand culture is completely different to anywhere else on the world. Like I look like a typical white guy, but I grew up learning Maori as like a language in that, and doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. The traditions over here are completely different to Australia and that, and everyone thinks New Zealand and Australia are so similar, but it's really not. It's really not. There's so many, I could go into it, but there's so many things that it's just completely different, especially to American culture. Like American culture is much different, but like over here we understand a lot of it because of American television, because that's pretty much all we get.
Well,
and no one in New Zealand likes New Zealand television.
Well, okay, like it's funny you say that, actually, because so as most people know who've followed my channel or talked to me, know that I went from living in San Diego to living in Los Angeles and then coming back to San Diego. That's a huge culture shock, like a crazy culture shock. Like, so it's funny how you say like, oh yeah, we know a decent amount of American culture over because of American TV. Y'all don't know the half of it. Just a 2-hour drive.
Know some of it, though. We know some of it.
Like,
also, like a lot of us know that also that in different states and different cities in America is completely different. I mean, we can look at like not even just accents and shit. It's just a way of living. I mean, you look at Los Angeles to New York to Boston to Texas to fucking Chicago to Arizona. Like, it's all different.
Yeah,
I don't even know the start of it. You're right.
Like, even California.
I know some things just from American television.
There's like 4 different cultures in America, or in California alone, that I've at least witnessed. There's SoCal culture, where it's like Southern California, just easy ride, easy street. San Diego, surfer style kind of culture. Then you got Middle California, which is a little bit more cowboy, a little bit more dusty kind of culture. Still a little on the laid back side. Definitely a lot more drugs. Then you got Northern, and then you got Northern California, which is like hippie region. All about I mean, it's hippie and and when I say hippie, I don't mean like, you snowflake hippies. No, I mean like, bro, the weed's so good kind of hippies, makes you want to hug a tree. Not ironically, you're just like fucking nature, man. Mixed in with some ranchers. Like, there's actually quite a bit of farming land up north as well. And then what I call big city California culture, which is hustle, 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 backstab, tear people down so you can get on top. And that's like Los Angeles, San Diego City proper, San Francisco, Sacramento, all those kind of places. So it's like there's like 3 crazy different cultures that I've witnessed.
It's kind of the same in New Zealand. Like you got where I'm from, which is like it's just my culture, and then you go up north, it's a lot more Maori and Islander culture as well, and then you go all the way down south, and that is the whitest of the whitest people you'll ever meet, and that's why I joke about Hardware's accent, because he's from like down south in Dunedin, and that everyone sounds like him down there. Apart from Red, he sounds like me because he grew up in my city and then moved down there. So like
coming as someone from the outside, you and Red do not sound alike at all. I can pick not at all. He sounds a lot more like Hardware than he sounds like you.
Okay, I assume he's just a mix then. But Hardware talks like this, and a lot of people down there talk like this, and then you go up north, and everyone's talking like this. You know what I mean? And then you get to where I'm at, and everyone talks like me. So
yeah, like no, Red definitely sounds.
To the south.
Yeah, Red definitely sounds a lot more Hardware than he sounds your middle New Zealand.
Yeah, like any like advert that you'll hear from like a New Zealand ad or something like that, which you probably haven't
I have
heard. Apart from
the deck one's my favorite.
Yeah, the deck one. The deck guy sounds like Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Because every ad has a person like that behind it, and that's why everyone sound like that. A lot of people think I sound Australian. I don't get that. I can tell the difference immediately, but like a lot of people do from the outside.
Yeah, no,
so many people coming into my chat going, "Are you Aussie or Kiwi?"
I can understand the Aussie. You're a lot more brusque with that. You're a lot more brusque like Aussies would be than your typical like New Zealand Kiwi accent. So like, yeah. I like I'm gonna catch so much hate for this, but I think you sound more Australian than Kelthos. Kelthos sounds a lot more.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Kelthos is like the most typical Aussie accent you could ever imagine.
I'm also really shit when it comes to Aussie and New Zealand accents.
the dick and dick is like the most typical thing though, because I reckon Australians say dick and dick the exact same. Like there's no difference in the word. Where I say dick, like I really pronounce the I. And when I say dick, I pronounce the E. They pronounce the E in both. I don't understand. But you can hear the difference.
It's dick and then deck. Come on. Enunciate.
That's what I think. Dick and dick. I don't say dick the exact same way you say it. When I say dick, it sounds like I'm saying dick in an Australian way. Because that's the whole joke behind it.
But honestly, every single time you say deck, it sounds like you're saying dick, honestly.
I can't be helped. There's no way. There's no way I can help. I can try and say, wait, how do you say dick? Say dick.
Dick.
No,
oh God, see you. Deck.
Say it.
Like a deck of cards. Deck. Oh, your audio just went shit. Holy crap! Hold up.
Deck.
There we go. Yeah, deck. There. Hey, I can hear what you're saying.
That's just so much effort. I feel like my
words are not that much effort.
I feel like my accent is so lazy though.
I think you're just lazy.
It really is. So I can go get someone to try and say dick and dick for you. Straight up, I'll go get a couple of other members of my family. Say our accent is just lazy.
I mean, yeah, I can understand that.
Go get those kids.
Go get those kids.
Fuck that.
No, then we'll never get rid of them. Then we'll have to turn this PG. I don't want to get PG because Jilker, I see your topic there. I do want to touch on that because I actually was just having this conversation with my dad at dinner today. So, but yes. He does sound like he's saying did that censor it?
It did. I'm surprised because I'm pretty sure I've seen someone else put dick in there and it came up as dick.
I'm so confused. Maybe he just put the asterisk.
Australians give us shit for saying fish and chips the way we say fish and chips because they say fish and chips. I say fish and chips, and then they like try and like mock it like fish and chips. It's like nah, it's just no.
Wait, isn't that how you say it though? Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, fish and chips.
Yeah, and they're like fish and chips. Like no, we don't say it like that. I don't know. I can't stand the Australian accent, man. Sounds hot on chicks. It does not sound good on guys.
No, hell no.
Sorry, Australians.
Hey, just like I always will say, don't want to ever go to Australia because everything there's trying to kill you. Everything from the insects to the wildlife, even to the women.
Yeah.
No.
Sounds hot on chicks. See, here we go. When I say it like chicks. Does it sound like I'm saying chicks?
I mean,
I does to everyone.
Yeah, yeah. It didn't register until you said that good enough. I was like, oh my god, he did say checks.
I said chicks.
Yeah, I know you said chicks, but it's just like dicks, you know? It's like,
see, I don't see the difference between you saying chicks and me saying chicks. Dicks and chicks, like like I can't help it.
Culture differences.
Culture. That is.
I mean, you know, when it comes down to it, like there are quite a few lazy accents here in America too. So I mean, it's not like it's a far off thing.
I like the American accents, like the Boston. The Boston accent.
Friggin', it's all about New York, where you're like, get out of here! I'm walking here. I'm going to the harbor to grab some fish and cod, maybe maybe get a couple crabs as well.
And I gotta say, I love the Texas one. Every time I hear like a real hick accent, it reminds me of like Cletus from The Simpsons.
Oh,
hey, Brandine!
There's the hillbilly accent.
Toilet paper.
Well, gosh darn it, Billy Joe, how you doing this right here? I don't understand. I like the more kind of like John Wayne accent, you know, slow drawl kind of style where you just like, yeah. I sat up on my horse today and I just ran that horse all the way till he couldn't. We sat there and watched the sunset. Thinking about that one day I'll find my Miss Kitty and just run away.
the typical Western action hero.
Yeah, pretty much. Except for unless you're watching a spaghetti western, you know, watching that oh my god, I'm gonna freeze on his name. What? Spaghetti western. Dirty Harry. What's his name? What's the actor's name? What's the Dirty Harry's actor's name? God, you watch more movies than I do, and you don't.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, he'll come to me sometime. Clint Eastwood, thank you. Good enough. Yeah, Clint Eastwood.
I was actually thinking of Clint Eastwood, but I didn't know he was Dirty Harry.
Well, then next time, just hit me with that. Just hit me with it.
Yeah, but like I sound like an idiot enough.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm giving you the most vague, you know, description. Like, you won't sound like an idiot for guessing on my vaguest, like, you know, vague things. You've never watched one of his movies? Oh, his westerns are interesting.
I haven't seen any of them either.
His westerns are, yeah, his westerns are, they're not your typical westerns. They're called spaghetti westerns because they were actually filmed in Italy, if I remember correctly. but also he doesn't have the typical cowboy accent. So he's just really gruff. Just like all of his movies, just very gruff sounding. I'm gonna shoot you in the eye.
I have two favorite Wild West films. Two favorite of all time. One is Django Unchained,
And then
and that's
Brokeback Mountain.
No, I was gonna say
Oh.
Ridiculous Six.
Oh my god.
Fucking love Adam Sandler, man.
Like the first one I can give you some respect to, because at least they have some sort of like like Western accuracy. But Ridiculous Six, really? That's not a Western movie.
Hilarious, man. I just think it's hilarious. They're about to hang Taylor Lautner, and he just goes, "I can't wait for you to see me dangling." Like,
oh my gosh.
And man is a strong Nick. He can't die from being hanged. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. All right. They want us to move on to World War III question.
World War III.
All right.
See, I think a couple years back, everyone was thinking it was going to be America and Korea.
North Korea? Yeah, right. Trump just freaking smushed Kim Jong-un. So like, dude, sit back down. Shut up, sit down.
Gave him a little backhand and was like, "Leave me place."
Yeah, no. Friggin' no, actually, so back to World War III question though. Actually, I was just talking to my dad about this. As most of you may know, being an American, I'm on the side that I'm not the biggest fan of, our president, Joe Biden, but he is still my president. So regardless of that, we're not bringing politics into this. But there was an article that I read just today about how President Biden and President Putin were talking today. And supposedly Putin's gathering forces to pretty much invade the Ukraine. Do you guys remember that story of when Russia was secretly invading the Ukraine?
Never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, it was well, you don't really watch news.
Yeah, I don't like to keep up with it.
Yeah,
could not care less.
Yeah, so
whatever happens. What am I gonna do?
I like to be prepared, man. I want to know who the enemy's gonna be if if we get invaded.
I don't think I know how to prepare. Like if New Zealand's being invaded, I'm literally tucking my dick between my legs and going, "Have a." Like, we don't have a good military.
No, well, you have Australia. Aren't you guys part of NATO?
Yeah, the Australians aren't going to do much.
Are you serious? Australia's
we're just going to call up the Americans and go, "Help."
I don't know if they are if New Zealand's part of NATO or not, but so back to the article. Basically Biden was saying telling Putin, "Hey, if you invade the Ukraine, we're gonna put like some serious economic sanctions on your country, like the likes that you've never seen, instead of sending in troops to help back up the Ukraine, because the Ukraine is not part of NATO, which means they can't invoke Article 5, which means we can't send military to help them." So
are you essentially saying that if there was a World War III, it would be like the Cold War times 10?
I think it's gonna be Russia and America. I think it's gonna be Russia and America.
See, I was gonna say that but I just like Cold War video games. that's it. I think
I don't think it's
the biggest rivalry between countries has always been America and Russia.
Yeah. Well, there's also China.
I think that would be good.
Yeah, there's also so good enough. Yeah, China as well. So, and that's one of the things I was talking about with my dad today, actually, because I read that article while we were, while he was doing some stuff on his aquariums, and I was just reading an article. But yeah, the Ukraine is pushing hard to be part of NATO, but I think that's why Russia is starting to mobilize forces before they can actually become part of NATO, because they're still in the phases for that. My thing is like China, yeah, lots of wait, what? The speech where they openly declaring they're taking back territories. Yeah, none of those territories fall under NATO jurisdiction, so I don't think we're gonna have we're gonna have much of a say in that. But I'm not worried about China because sure, they say they have a big army. They don't really have a big army. They have the equipment and they have lots of citizens that they can draft
Yeah,
into their army.
they have a large population, but
But
drafted citizens are not soldiers.
exactly, and I think that's why
Yeah.
if there was to be a World War III, it's like they're going to have to basically do the Russian tactic back in World War II, which was send as many bodies towards it as much as possible and hopefully overrun their position with just bodies. And that's going to be like the
Numbers.
suckiest thing ever. And then with Russia, I'm just worried because they have a military that is not as big but pretty heavily and scary trained. It's very scary. Like their special forces, they get shot at with live ammunition. Like they when they do training, the thing is it's like there's a good chance you're gonna die for being stupid on while training with the Spetsnaz. So don't be stupid, you don't die. And then one of their actual training things is hey, you need to know what it feels like getting shot 5 times in the chest when you have body armor on. So you have to trust that your partner who's shooting you in the chest from like 5 feet away that isn't going to screw up and miss your freaking body plate.
Yeah.
So like I'm a little scared. Like I'd be a little scared with Russia, and especially Russia has allies. They got quite a few in the Middle East, not that many, but quite a few. And also just like some of the Eastern European countries, where they're at. And also,
they also have vodka.
We have vodka too.
Yeah, but not Russian vodka.
Yeah, well, that's because ours is good.
Yeah, but theirs is like nasty. So when the Russians drink it, they're hearty men.
Yeah.
Vodka.
But at the same time,
out of my ass at this point.
Yeah.
I want to go back on what Joker said real quick. He likes how I do not have faith in my own country. I have faith in my country, but it's not so much my country. I have faith in the Anzacs. So that is Australia and New Zealand put together, because that becomes basically just one army at the end of the day. So that's a good allegiance there. But the only really good thing my country can do, and like they got praised for it a lot over COVID, is they were able to control the whole what do you call it? On tip of my tongue. They were able to control the virus in our country pretty much. Well, they were able to control the pandemic. So that's all good and well, but if you consider where New Zealand is on the map compared to everywhere else, the closest thing to us is Australia. And Australia got hit hard, but we're not, our land is not connected to another land. We've got an ocean between us. So we're able to cut off everything there. If we put New Zealand in the middle of Europe, like if New Zealand was in the middle of Europe, surrounded by a whole bunch of other countries, there's no way we would have done as well.
Yeah, and yeah, so, I mean, contact control and all that. It's locking down borders essentially.
Yeah, so like our prime minister did well. I'll give her that. But would she have done so well in like a European area? I don't think so.
I don't think any political leader could have done well.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like we haven't learned anything from history. We did see this back in the 1920s, when we got hit with the Spanish flu. But that was the last time a giant pandemic, broke out, and and no one's updated anything from that. Like no one's ever updated, like because no one ever thought it would be possible. We have all this medical science and stuff, and it's like, yeah, we don't have to worry about like heck. Like, we didn't raise this much of a fuss with Ebola or swine flu or the bird flu.
Yeah, well, they should have. They really should have.
Yeah, well, I mean, they should have. They.
Yes, Joker. Yes.
Yes, Julker's Sugar is in New Zealand, not in Australia. He
Yeah.
sounds Australian, but he's New Zealand, born and bred.
I don't sound Australian, all right? It's like me
But
saying you sound like a Texan.
hey, I definitely don't sound like a Californian. That's for certain. So, but yeah, I think what when Joker said, if China and Russia joined allies, that's World War III happening right there. And honestly, I don't know when it will happen. All I know is we are
It's always possible.
we're just one step away from crossing that line that it can happen at any time. Like it could happen tomorrow, it could happen, next year, or it could happen 100 years from now. We're on a very thin rope, and we're walking. We're walking across that rope in the freaking middle of the Grand Canyon, and
With no fucking harness.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, the scary thing is though, is there is a war. Do the nukes come into play?
So that's interesting.
Because because that's definitely going to be something that's threatened.
So
And I think if an all-out nuke war comes out, then we're all fucked.
well, so that's just assured mutual destruction at that point. No one wants to say, yeah. No one wants to launch that first nuke because no one wants to be the responsible party for, you know, for the, why we destroyed the Earth and why there's only a few survivors who somehow survived. That's like saying, yeah, North Korea launched the first nuke. Yes, they are the bad guys forever. North Korea had better win that war. Yeah, they had better win that war and rewrite history in their own liking, or they'll be forever known by, whoever survives that as the ones who fucked up the Earth. Like in
I can guarantee Elon Musk is surviving. That man has probably put preparations in like already like down.
he seems like a doomsday prepper, yeah.
Yeah, if something happens, if like China or Russia or North Korea or America or any country in the world that has nukes pushes that button, he's in a rocket. He's in a space station the next day. Not even the next day. The next fucking hour. That man is in a fucking he's already at Mars. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck. At least we're putting our next 100 years of planning into action now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be like, well, I already had you as the pre-group on standby to go to Mars, so we're going right now. But yeah, like you said, the reason that Joker, I will agree with that. The reason why we haven't seen that grand of a scale of a war is because of nukes. But at the same time, I think a war could start, and I think there would be a mutual understanding of we're not using nukes because we're not doing scorched earth tactics, which mean that being like we're just trying to destroy anything and everything. Because within war, you want profit. If you don't get any profit from that war, it's like there's not much coming from it.
I don't think anyone wants to go to war right now.
No, God, I mean,
I don't think anyone is even like considering it.
Yeah. Well, no, I guarantee you people are considering it. Like,
they'll be considering it, but they're like they've only considered it as a preparation. I can guarantee that. I don't think any country right now wants to go to war with another country because of how devastating it could be, how
North
long
Korea.
it could go on for, and everything.
Yeah, North Korea North Korea has been wanting to go war with South Korea for the longest time. What's stopping them? We have boots on ground over there because South Korea is an ally of ours, and it's like, yeah, we have 8,000 troops right over there, and they're like, they're American soldiers, they're well trained. Those 8,000 will actually that 8,000 will take out a good 20,000 of our troops in a day, easy. Okay, you know what? We'll leave them alone.
Yeah.
They're literally waiting for China to come back them up, where last time when North Korea was getting all big and hot and bothered and Trump just slapped him and said sit down, Even China was like, hey, North Korea, chill, bro, chill, sit. He just slapped you. Sit down. Like China was
to the man in the orange toupee.
China, yeah, seriously, China was seriously like, hey, North Korea, you really need to stop. You really need to stop and like step down. Like, America has this crazy ass president right now. He will just destroy and wipe you off the face of the earth. And we can either attack them or just cut you as a loss. Like,
What if like Kim Jong Un just jumps into the podcast right now? Imagine if we were the reason that New Zealand gets destroyed and America has to fight for it.
Yo, I'll sign up right now. I'll go over there and be like, yo, Sugar, what's up? I'm rocking my M4 with the Marines right now. We're over here. We'll do a stream right here. We'll do a stream at your place.
I'll just be like, I don't have an M4, but I got a box of pencils that say fuck on it. Fucking brilliant. I can't protect myself for shit. Yeah, I'd be fucked.
I don't think you would.
If I got drafted, I'd be ruined.
I don't think so. Like, I mean, military tactics have gone quite a bit since, hell, even World War II. Like, I don't. You might be drafted, but I think, you know, you're a reasonably fit dude. You know. And I think, yeah. Well, you're more reasonable than I am. I'm a fat fuck right now, and you know.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
My tits are coming in, and I'm proud of it.
I already got the tits. I got them B-size cuffs right now, just enjoying life. But
I started eating because I felt bad that the only one in the relationship who gets fun with tits is me. My missus needs the fun too. She wants to be able to slap them.
But yeah, no, I think New Zealand would be fine. You got Australia over there, and I can't remember, but I think New Zealand is part of NATO, which means America is coming over.
I would assume so. Yeah. I know we're allies, so
yeah. Yeah, and one thing that I did appreciate, you know, like I said, not a fan of Biden, but I liked what he said. It's like he did say, with our NATO allies, Article 5 is a sacred obligation that we will follow with any of our NATO allies. And I was like, you know, I have to, you know, I may not approve of everything you do, just like a lot of people didn't approve of Trump, but you know what? I have to respect that. If you're going to hold fast to that sacred article, you know, that's why you're my president. You know, gotta do something. Yeah. Gotta do something. And so him saying that just made me actually happy to be American. It's like, at least we still got our allies' backs.
Yeah. Who else was who else was up and running for presidency? It was Joe Biden, and I like I said, I don't keep up with it. Who else was there?
Oh, it was Trump again.
Okay.
Yeah, Trump was. Yeah, Trump. Well, okay, that's a whole can of worms that I'm not gonna get into. Like, between the conspiracy theories of the election was rigged, and then Biden lied to get votes, blah blah blah.
We love conspiracy theories.
I mean, okay, we're just gonna hit on the conspiracy theories. I don't believe these, and I'm not condoning them as facts. These are some of the more believable ones that I've heard of in a long time. But the common conspiracy theory is, and I'm choosing my words very carefully. Conspiracy theory. It has not been proven, and probably never be proven. But they say that the election was rigged. Like, they got a bunch of fake votes in to put Joe Biden in. And like I said, can't be proved. It hasn't been proved. Probably will never be proved, and therefore will live as a conspiracy theory forever. As far as I know, as a standard American citizen, the votes were counted, and Joe Biden won, and that's my president now. Can't please all sides of the party.
There's one conspiracy theory I do believe in, and that is there are lizard people living in our
Yes.
When I go to the local shops, there's some fucking creatures out there. I'm telling you, there's some fucking creatures. So I believe in it. It's funny though. There's a new Netflix and it's all about like that are like trying to control all the conspiracy theories out there because they're all true. And like they've got this underground facility where there's like lizard people walking around that can transform into or like shapeshift into actual people. So like I think the president's one or something like that. It was kind of funny. I watched a few episodes. I do want to finish it.
Wait, what show is it called again? Oh,
yeah, Good Enough Painting might know.
but yeah,
I can't remember what it's called.
Is the election still being verified? It's been a year. Like, I don't know. All I know is like the ballot machines are easily hacked. That got proven. They're still running off of like Windows 98 software. So,
software.
like I said, it's the most believable conspiracy theory that just needs to die. Like, it's like no one was, half America wasn't happy with Trump, the other half was happy. Now it's just flip-flopped and everyone's crying, and me, the libertarian over here, is like collecting tears from both sides, like, haha, you liberal tears, amazing. Oh, you conservative tears, oh, so tasty. I'm gonna mix them together with a cocktail. Just like, yeah.
What do you think about the Bush did 9/11 conspiracy theory?
I think it's complete and utter bullshit.
Oh yeah, I remember I was looking into it one time, like a couple of years back, and I was looking at like the footage of it, and people were trying to say that it was edited. Like, how could this plane go through here and end up on the other side? Like, trying to say that the footage was edited, but the footage was so blurry because it was a 2001 helicopter shot from fucking God knows how far away. So
yeah,
the conspiracy theories on that were kind of funny.
They were funny, but I don't care what your political view is. Freaking, if you can think a sitting president is capable of making sure that thousands of people die on your own soil,
and
like
get away with it.
Well, no, it's not even getting away with it. But if you think a sitting president would do that to his own country, like,
well, wasn't the theory behind it is he done it so he had an excuse to go over to Afghanistan, or like to keep troops over there to keep trying to fight?
We had enough excuse. Like we didn't have to kill thousands of innocent people to do that. We had excuses. Like we had Osama bin Laden over there threatening, our way of life, regardless of whether he did a terrorist attack or not. Like there's reasons to keep the Marines over there.
Inside Job, that is what it's called. That show.
Oh, okay.
Inside Job. Quite funny. I think you'd enjoy it.
Probably, I don't know.
It's kind of just stupid humor though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get hate. I don't understand it. That's why like I said, I'm not a fan of Biden. I was a fan of Trump, but I don't understand the hate behind either one. Like I said, not a fan. I don't hate him. I'm just not a fan. But it does bring my heart joy being the independent, the libertarian on the outside who's just like, oh, you guys are crying. Now your turn to cry. Now, and I'm just watching both sides cry, and it's a freaking amazing. It's like, we had the conservatives, crying about Biden, but before we just had the liberals, crying about Trump, and it's glorious. I'm just one of those who likes to watch the world burn when it doesn't actually hurt innocent civilians.
Yeah, my question is with Trump, he did one run of being president, right?
Yeah, he did 4 years.
So he did his 4 years. Okay, so can he run like for another 4 years, or is he?
Yes, he can.
He done?
So you're allowed to have 2 4-year terms as presidency. In that, if I remember correctly from my government studies, it doesn't matter how much time is in between those two. You can still run for the max of 2.
Okay.
So, like, I mean, that's yeah. See, good enough. You're pretty much like the opposite of me. Like, I was flabbergasted by this election with Biden, and I'm very troubled even with his first year of presidency. But accepting as the elected president, like he's my president, I really hope he does the best job that he can ever do, because that's what we need. Spread that love and peace, like I always say. I may not like the guy, but you know what? I'll be sure as hell not to speak ill of him if he doesn't deserve it yet. And he doesn't deserve the amount of hate that I've given Alec Baldwin. So
yeah, you fucking hate that guy.
I do.
And it's fucking hilarious. I was gonna say something, but I completely forgot. Oh, that's right. So with Trump over here, like every news thing about Trump was negative. Like the news stations over here fucking hated him, and a lot of the people do not like Trump simply because of what they see on the news. And I keep telling people, it's like, you're watching the 6 o'clock news, of course they're gonna talk shit about him. Like, why don't you do your own research? Like, I don't do my own research for that, because I don't care for it. But for people that are like that up in arms about it, do your own research. Don't just be like, I don't like him because they said so. Like,
well, I mean,
I don't understand that way of thinking.
Yeah, but here's the thing you have to think about. What's better selling on the news? Like the good stuff or the bad stuff? Yeah, the hate. The hate sells, man. Sex and hate sells. So it's like, and you see that on Twitch too. You hear, who are some of the biggest streamers out there? They're freaking, roid rage monsters who are, all about, cursing out little children for being bad at a video game.
Or you've got the like you said, sex sales. You got what's her name, Amaranth or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, like she's
the hot tub,
up, and all she does is chill in a hot tub and write subs names on her.
Yeah.
On her body and that.
Yeah.
She gets like, what is it, like 5,000 to 6,000 people? Like, of course, Saya is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not surprised there at all. But yeah, she's got thousands of people watching her just chilling in a hot tub.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get it.
When you come, and as someone who's
not even that hot.
Yeah. Oh wait, what? No, she's hot. She's a redhead, bro. She's a redhead. She's sexy.
I'm a redhead.
Yeah. Why do you think yeah.
Okay, I'll take it then.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like it's funny how everyone in the world has a uniform hatred for Trump, but they don't realize Trump was the one who pretty much brought peace to the Middle East for a little while with America. Like he had sit downs with, a decent amount of the Middle East, leadership. And it was like, hey, we just need to chill out. He's the one who got Kim Jong-un, North Korea, who's never sat down with an American politician, with cameras on, essentially, for some back end dealing. He freaking, put Kim Jong-un in the global, spotlight. He's done a lot of like good things that people just overlook because the hatred is what is more believable. It's like when you have a nasty breakup. You don't remember the good things that you had with that girl. You just remember the shitty things. Like I can think of one of my past relationships. Hey, I hate her. I'm so done. I'm so happy she's out of my life. But then I got to think about it realistically. It's like, you know what? There was some good times. There was some good things as well. But just
I personally don't. I don't look at my past relationships like that at all. I look at them as if like learning experiences and shit. Like I don't like that part of her. I liked this part of her, but I didn't like that part of her. So the next person I'm with, I know what I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean I do this.
I hold no ill will. My ex cheated on me, and I still just do not give a fuck.
Oh
like, I'm at that point. Like,
yeah, I mean my ex cheated on me too, and I was just I the reason why I hate her is because she was a sadistic liar. Yeah. Always lying, and just like I came to you with all the truth. But that being said, I digress. That's how most things happen. Like if you already don't like the person because they don't align with your political value or your political leaning, you're automatically going to hone in on the hatred. You're going to focus in on that negative and say, fuck that person because they did this, this, and this. It doesn't matter how much good they did. You're just gonna hate them for, those things that you dislike. And that's just how it is, because you know what? This whole world is fueled by hatred. This whole world is fueled by hatred. It's like, I hate you because you're on the left. I hate you because you're on the right. Yo, like, seriously, everyone needs to learn how to sit down and shut the fuck up, because it's like, y'all just terrible people anyways. Like, who cares if you didn't like him as a president, or if, he's still your president. Get over it. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand hate. I don't understand racist. I don't understand any of that shit, because it's like, you're gonna hate someone because their skin is darker. You're a fucking moron. Cool. I hate Trump because he was horrible president. Really, you're a moron too. I hate Biden because he's a horrible president. Yeah, you're a moron. Like, morons. I don't understand moronic thought. That's my problem.
People need to do this, and this speaking on like past relationships and that they need to. Presidents and prime ministers, if you don't like them, wait until it's over and then try and run into them at like the local store like 3 years later and just laugh at the fact that they've tripled in size and have a baby.
Oh god.
And the man she's with now is like Bundy as fuck.
I'd rather not do that.
That's how I look at it.
I don't want to run. Like, here's the thing, I don't want to run into Trump, and I don't want to run into Biden. I don't want to run into either of them any amount of time down the future, because one, I don't. But yeah, I thought was very specific. You've done that, haven't you? You've done that, haven't you?
I was at the shop with my missus at the time. Well, my missus now, and we were just doing our usual shopping and that. And she goes to me. She's like, "Is that your ex over there?" And I looked over and I was like, I don't know, because she just looked completely different. She was like, when I was with her, she was skinny, she was fit, and then she was like bigger than my door frame. And I just remember going, I don't know. And then like my ex started staring at me across the store, and the whole time we were shopping, she was just eyes on me the whole time, and I was like, yeah,
I want that tasty snack back.
Yeah,
I want that. I want that ginger head again. Oh, yes.
I'm not fat shaming, by the way. I'm just saying she let herself go, and like it was just satisfying for me. I was over it. That's the years in the past, but just seeing her then, with like she was knocked up and everything, had like her boyfriend looked fucking
just put it in the candy aisle.
Yeah.
Oh no, Algo. Oh my gosh, I'm impressed, and I approve. My name is XenosAce, and I approve of that comment.
I fuck with you, Algo. You're my kind of guy.
Oh my god!
It was just a very satisfying experience. I was completely over it as in the past, but when you see something that brings up the past to you, and it was a shit time in your past, and you see them now, it's kind of just like, huh, that's funny, and then you move on with the day.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna avoid, because that makes me seem like an asshole. I have a situation.
Come on.
Okay, fine. Look, okay, see, this was back when I was a lot younger and a lot more like angry with the world. So like this is before this. But I used to have a huge high school bully. For some reason, he was just a complete and utter asshole. And specifically only to me. He was cool with everyone else, but for me, he was like, I'm gonna pick on the fat kid. So, and it was just terrible. Like, I don't know why he hated me so much. And then all of a sudden, and he was an incredible athlete. I played football with him. He was a really good athlete. Freaking talk about like a Russian bear. That's who he was. Like, we called him the Russian bear because his family was first generation Americans from Russia. He was born here in America. They got their citizen, blah, blah, blah. But like about, no, we weren't lovers. Oh, that would have ended a lot more wholesome.
That caught me off guard. That was fucking funny.
but for the longest time, I just let him bully me. And I was 16, 17 at the time. I just let him bully me because I was like, you know what? I've already dealt with one bully. This guy is just he's gonna get caught eventually one day. He did get caught. He actually threw me on the ground and started jumping on my back, like, and my coaches and during football practice literally pulled him off and benched him for a while. And I was like, yeah, see, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole to this guy. He's literally being the asshole to me the whole time. But a couple years later, I was sitting watching the news with one of my old ex-girlfriends. We were together at the time. And like I said, mind you, I was a hateful person back then. I was angry, pissed. I recognized what I did was wrong. But I saw him on the news and I was like, holy shit, there's that fucker. And then I started laughing hysterically because he got hit with a baseball in the head and caused him some pretty serious brain damage.
Oof.
And the news was how this local kid will never be able to play sports properly again because of this injury.
That's
And
fucking
I laughed because the first thing that I thought when I saw that was like, this is what you get for jumping on my back. Like, dude, you were wearing cleats and we weren't in our shoulder pads. You literally just dragged me down to the ground when we're having a no pad practice and start jumping on my back, all freaking 200 pounds of you. And so like I was laughing, and my girlfriend at the time was like, why are you laughing? This is a really sad story. I'm like, I know that fucker. He's the one who, actually hurt me quite a bit back in high school. And so I don't laugh to this day anymore because I'm not hateful anymore. So, but I was, a hateful person.
That is fucking rough, though.
Yeah. Oh, that was like, yeah, to this day, like, nowadays I'm thinking back on it and I'm just, his name was Conrad. I don't remember his last name, but if you probably look it up in the San Diego Tribune or something. But yeah, Conrad, he was, he had some, we had some not so fun times.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. So this chick in high school, I like just started getting to know her. It's nothing like relationship wise and that. She was in my class and that, and I just started getting me and that, and she lived close to me, so I was walking to school with her and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this one morning after a weekend, I was walking to school and I didn't see her, and I got to school and I was like, "Oh, do you know where Lily is?" And they're like, "Did you not hear?" And I was like, "What?" And apparently she killed herself over the weekend and that. And apparently back in like a few years back before I knew her, because she was really nice when I met her, but a few years before I actually knew her, she was like a real asshole to a lot of people. And there was so many people around the school and that were just laughing at the fact that she had done it. And I still look back on it because I know someone who was bullied by her, and even to this day she's like, yeah, good riddance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is years ago. This is high school drama.
Yeah.
That shit's like in the past. Like everyone grows up from high school. If she didn't kill herself, she'll be a completely different person.
Yeah.
Like you probably wouldn't have hate for her unless you're just a hateful person.
Yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't get over the fact that these people were just like, oh, fuck her. I was like, I think it's just sad.
Oh, it is sad. That's why I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how I was a hateful and spiteful person. Like,
I think everyone's been there though.
yeah, well,
Everyone has.
honestly, that was a time when I was drinking and smoking too much weed and doing a lot of other you know, a lot of other
Weeds make you happy though.
yeah, well, not when you mix it with other drugs.
Yeah, no, hell no. I remember
So,
I did a 50K hike. This is not even talking about weed in this one, but I did a 50K hike and I found some like mushrooms away.
Oh, your
type
audio
thing.
just cut. Your audio just cut.
Oh shit! So I was on this military camp doing a K hike, and me and my buddy, we found a whole patch of just like wet as fuck mushrooms, and we ate the whole lot of them. And I just remember tripping balls the whole way. Like we hiked for like 20 k's that day, and the whole time just everything was going like this. I nothing to do with what you were just saying, but I just thought I'd just tell a little drug story.
Little antidote. There we go.
Yeah, a little drug story. It's kind of funny. It's the only time I've ever done mushrooms though. I
Yeah.
haven't done it again since, and I don't think I ever will. I'm not against smoking a little grass though.
You know, you know what? I hate to sound like Joe Rogan, but microdosing on shrooms is actually, I like it better than weed.
Really?
Yeah, because with weed, I like almost have like a third, like it's like all of a sudden I'm playing Vigor, you know, just like my third, you know, I go into third person mode
Yeah.
with
I kind of like that
with
though.
weed. I like it very rarely. Like
I like watching movies while I'm stoned because
I do too.
There's one watching a movie sober, watching a movie drunk is just
Not fun.
I don't enjoy being drunk anymore. It's just me. I've kind of grown out of that. But yeah, like there's watching the movie sober, and it's like yeah, you follow the story, and that was a good movie. You watch a movie high, you really dive into it. You really get sucked in.
Oh, for me, it's actually very different. Like I can, yeah, because so I do, you know, when I get high, I do edibles because I don't like smoking the flower anymore.
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
so it's a little bit,
Pretty
it's
fucking gross sometimes.
but so you know, so it's a little bit of a different high when you do the edibles, right? You know, it's a little bit more potent and kind of just hits you.
More like a real body stone day.
Yeah. So I'll just lay down on the couch and I think I'm about to fall asleep, but it's not. I'm not falling asleep. All of a sudden, I'll just close my eyes and I can start seeing the television through my eyelids. I'm like, and it's not like in super detail, like, oh, I can see the blue on his shirt, you know, going on right now. No, it's like, you know, one actor, you know, he is just a silhouette of red and the other actor is just a silhouette of blue. And I can see like my brain is for some reason piecing together. It's like reading a book, except for like the book is being, it's like an audio book. And then my brain is filling in details for my own like vision, I guess. It is a trip. I do enjoy getting stoned and watching something because it just gets really funky and weird.
I just remember like I got a couple good like weed stories in that. One is with shock. Is the first time I ever got shock stoned, and at this point in my life, I was on the piss every night, smoking weed every day, all day, and that. And he wanted to get stoned with me at one point, and I was like, all right, I'll bring you around to the bro's house. We'll just chill and watch a movie or something. So we're all watching a movie. We're sitting on my mate's bed, just watching the movie and that. And Shock has like maybe 3 bongs, and he is gone. And he's sitting on the bed like this. And I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, you good, bro?
Oh no.
He's like, I need to sit down. I'm like, you are sitting down. He goes, I need to get lower. And he just does this. I was like, well, sit on the floor then. He goes, all right. And he does this. Like, I forgot he was there for like fucking 3 hours because I had no idea. Like, he did this. He actually just went and sat in the corner behind the bed where no one could see him and just rocking his body for like 3 hours. And I remember going, I was like, because we were all high at the time too, so we just like concentrating on the movie and just eating chips and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the movie ended, and I was like, where the fuck is Cody? And I looked to my left, and there he is, and I'm like, you're good, bro. And he looks up at me and goes, nah, and he stands up and runs outside. And he just kneels over a bush.
Oh.
I'm like, oh shit, man's about to green out. So I got my phone out and started recording.
Oh, you dick!
And he's like kneeling over the bush, and I'm just here cracking up, laughing, recording him, and he's like over the bush in there. he didn't end up throwing up, but he turns around and
He
goes,
dry hunt or
he goes,
dry heaves.
he looks at me like this, like, he just makes a noise and then just goes back inside and sits in the corner again. I'm like, he'll be right.
Yeah, I've only had
But it was,
one bad high situation where it was just a bad one. So I was in LA at the time, and I had an open door policy with my friends, but I didn't think they were coming over because it was a Monday night, during COVID lockdown. But even then, I still
yeah.
said, hey, if you guys seriously, like, I'm still working, so I know I'm not sick, so you have a safe place to be, if you need to get out of your freaking house. So uh but so I didn't think anyone was coming, and so I decided to do a little too much. And people say there's no such thing as an overdose for weed. There is. An overdose doesn't have to be lethal. That's just medical. But that being said,
I
so
think
I
we have
was
all overdosed.
yeah, I was so stoned out of my mind. And I was like, and when I get like that stoned, like I have like a whole bunch of water and I'm laying down and I'm not doing anything because I get really sick really quick. But my friends come over. Super was there. Super was actually there playing Call of Duty on my Xbox, and I was like, oh my god! I'll open my eyes and I start watching him play, and then all of a sudden like my equilibrium goes off, and I'm just like, oh god, I need to close my eyes, and I close my eyes trying to settle my brain down again. My stomach's starting to feel all churny and everything. And I'm like, I'm not gonna throw up. I'm not gonna throw up. And all of a sudden, our friend who was there, Bree, she's like, Noah, hey Noah. And I'm like, what? She's like, no, look at me, Noah. I want to make sure you're okay. And I look over at her and she just waves like this. And for some reason that triggered my brain. She triggered my brain so hard, and I was just like, just ran to the bathroom.
It's the motion, It's the
oh my
motion.
gosh, dude, it was so bad. Because normally when I get that
I've had a
stoned,
moment like that.
I like being alone when I'm that high, because it's like I can control myself. That time was whoa.
I remember I had a moment like that, and my mate, I had taken the longest tolerance break ever because I decided that I just didn't want to smoke like I used to, and then I was like, you know what, go around to my mate's place. I haven't seen him in a while, and I get there, and two of my buddies are there, and they're having a sesh. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll pass. And they're like, oh, we made up this weed game if you want to play it.
Oh,
I was like, okay. And they're like, we've got three
worst.
cards here. One card is a small bong. One card is a medium bong. One card is a massive bong. And they're like, we're going to put a blindfold on you, shuffle the cards, and then whatever card you pick is what bong you take. But you won't know until you
Oh
take the
god.
bong because you're going to be blindfolded the whole time. My fucking luck and my own idiocy accepted to play the game. And I got the massive one. And I took this thing and I took it like a fucking champ. Like I did the whole thing, and then I took the blindfold off and I was like, you motherfuckers. And they're like, you didn't even pull the big one. We just wanted to give you it. I was like, you guys are cunts.
Oh,
An hour
dang.
later, I was in his backyard sitting on this chair, and everything was just
Spin.
spinning. Like literally everything looked upside down. And then as soon as that started happening, I just vomited everywhere and then passed out where I was sitting.
Yeah.
I was out cold. And then I woke up on his couch. His mum was sitting next to me, like trying to get me to drink water and shit. And I had to actually call up my parents because I needed to go home because I worked early the next morning and I couldn't drive my car. And I was like, I need a lift. I need to get home.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, fuck, all right. Not again. It's happened one time before, and the one time it happened was when I first started smoking weed. I think it was like my third time ever, and my mate had been smoking weed for God knows how long, and I think he lined up. It's probably called other things from wherever you are in the world, but he had three bongs lined up for me, two joints to share around the group, and then he lined up 10 spots, which is like little rolled up balls that you just heat up knives for, and then burn the weed with that, and you suck it through a tube. I don't know if you've ever tried that. It is an incredible way to save weed and to get high. And I did all of that, and then we
My
did
guy,
a
you have
lunge.
a crack smoker over there.
Oh no, that's just
That's some crack. No,
you know
that's some
how I was
crack
saying
shit.
New Zealand culture? Everyone does spots.
That is some crack shit right there if I ever heard
and
it.
then, and then there was one more thing that I did just to top it off. And I don't know if you guys know what this is, but it's called a lungy. And the reason why it's called a lungy is because it's basically like your lung. So you get a bottle, you cut the bottom off, and
Oh
then you tape a
no.
plastic bag to it, to the bottom,
No.
and then you push the bag into the bottle, and then you burn weed into the bottle so the bag opens up and expands, and all the smoke is in there. You cover the top, and when you're ready, you inhale the whole thing. And
Jesus.
because of the plastic bag, when you inhale it, it just goes, it just pushes it. So you take in a whole lot of smoke, and right after that, I can't remember exactly what happened, but in my mind, I went to the toilet and then I went for a run around the block a couple of times. That's what I thought I'd done. I wake up the next morning in my mate's like bedroom on the floor, and he's like, "Yeah, you weren't driving home last night," and I was like, "Yeah." I wasn't planning on it. I was gonna get an Uber, and he's like, "Yeah, you weren't even in a good condition to do that." And I was like, "What happened?" I just remember like taking the lungy, going to the toilet, and then going for a quick run. And he goes, "Bro, you didn't even make it to the toilet." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You walked out of the room, fell on your face on the grass, vomited a whole bunch, and then conked out, and I had to carry you to my room." And I was like, "So I never went for a run?" He goes, "No, you didn't." And I was like, "Well, where the fuck did that come from?" He's like, "Maybe you were dreaming it." I was like, "Fuck, probably." And then I was like, "Well, fuck, I'll go clean up the fucking puke in the backyard then." He goes, "Don't worry." I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "The dog's already got to it." So yeah, that was my first really bad experience on weed,
You
and it
wanted
was
some
like
nefarious act striking, there it is.
yeah.
um yeah, wow.
You got some good stories, man. Good
I,
stories when I was a dropkick. I think
um
majority of
jeez.
people around their like early 20s, late teenage years have those kind of moments.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as they're like us and
Well,
not brought up exactly proper.
I never did the fountain on the bed like I'll go sit over here, but
Oh,
I
I've
did
never done
witness
that.
one. I did
Oh, I
witness
have
one.
too. It is
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's, don't ever hotbox a small freaking bathroom with 15 people and one chick who can't hold her fucking weed. Don't ever do it, y'all. It's not it's not a fun time.
I haven't
She
had it that bad.
panicked. She panicked so hard. Got her on the bed, and all of a sudden, that bed was done. I'm so happy it
Oh,
wasn't my place. I got to
and it
leave in an Uber
was
after
it just the
that.
one? Was it just the one chick and a whole bunch of guys too?
No, no, no. It
Okay.
wasn't a sausage fest. It was actually a really nice. It was actually a really nice party. A decent
I was
amount
gonna
of chicks
I was gonna
to
say that would have
men
been
ratio.
the worst for her if it was just a bunch of guys there
Yeah.
just watching her
Nah,
piss
this
herself.
this was during the time
Poor
when
girl.
you couldn't really get the good stuff. The good, like the good kind of weed. Um, just so I don't, potentially, what's the word? Just in case. Basically, I don't want to, not perjure. Oh my God, I am not doing English well today. I
It's
apologize for
alright.
that.
Won't blame you.
Yeah. Uh,
You gotta
incriminate.
focus on
I
the accent
just
too.
yeah, just just so I don't incriminate myself. But I provided like the dopest weed that anyone's had ever had at that party, and it was just a little too dope for her because
Yeah.
we were getting the stuff from Mexico that wasn't so great. And yeah.
The thing is with a lot of new weed smokers, people who like try and dive into it a little bit, a lot
Mm,
of them are trying to just show off with it.
yeah.
And you can point those people out.
Oh yeah.
Because the what I always say to people if time's third time, I'm just saying, like, if I've got a tolerance, don't keep up with me. Like, there's no shame whatsoever if you can't
Mm-hmm.
smoke 10 bongs and go for a walk. Like,
Yeah.
if you can only handle one bong or like half a, and you've got a good buzz, just enjoy your buzz.
Yeah.
We're not here in a competition. We're here to get stoned. We're
Mm-hmm.
here
Yeah.
to have just a little bit of relaxing fun, and that's it.
Yeah. Like for me, 30 milligrams. 30 milligrams is perfect. Well, my brother, he's like, bro, I can't even get stoned off of 30. I have to go like 120. I gotta smoke 120 milligrams of THC in order to get stoned. I'm like, that sucks for you. That must cost you a fortune.
I
Like,
guess it does get like that for some people.
I
Go through a lot.
get off the weed, bro. Like, chill, enjoy, detox, and then just get back to it where you can take one bong hit and you're just like good for the day, or I'm good, at least good
Yeah.
for the couple hours.
Yeah, see,
You want a
that's
hot
the way
box
I
with
look at
God?
it
Let's
too now.
go.
That's the way I look at it now too. I don't really much weed anymore at all. I used to smoke all day, every day. I had a tolerance where I could just go for hours on countless bongs, and I wouldn't even be able to count how many I've had.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing that anymore because I actually enjoy being sober now. I don't
Yeah.
like drinking as much. Like I'll have, if I'm going out for drinks, I'll have like 2 or 3, and that'll do me. I'm not gonna go overboard with it. So like when
Actually,
I have weed or something, I literally just once in a, like I'll just be like, okay, yeah, fuck it, I'll have a little bit, and that'll be me.
yeah. I I don't like drinking actually. Like now I don't. Like it's got to be a very special occasion for me to have more than like one or two drinks. Like
Yeah.
cuz even then I don't even like most alcohol. Like I'm a
Mm.
whiskey and moonshine kind of guy only. And like when people are like, "Oh yeah, I make a I make a mean gin and tonic." It's like I don't even like alcohol that much. I'll just stick with water, thank you. I
Yeah.
I enjoy being sober. I've never thought I would ever. If my 20-year-old self heard me say that,
Yeah.
would have tried to slap me. I'd be like, "Haha, you're too stoned. Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah,
you know.
it's the same thing with me, man. It's the same thing with me, and
uh,
it wasn't even that long ago that I was like that, which is the funny thing.
yeah, for me, it was
It's
only
kind of
5 years ago.
funny. Yeah, it's funny how fast you can change. Like within a year, I was going from getting pissed every night and going out to town and having a good time with
Hmm.
all the boys and that, and then doing God knows what for the rest of the night, and then wake up the next morning and I've already got a bong packed. And
Yeah,
as soon as I wake up, I just reach over, have a bong, get up for the day, and then I would just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then within a year, I'm like, I'm settled down now. I kind of just want to get on with my shit
yeah.
because
For
this ain't taking me anywhere.
Yeah,
You know what
for
I mean?
me, yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean because for me, I had to get rid of like my whole stash, and I didn't have anything for like about a week or two.
Mm.
But it like I got some self reflection in that time, and be like, you know what, actually I kind of enjoy not being stoned. It's a
Yeah.
weird, and that was after 2 years of being stoned every day, and then 5 years ago is when I pretty much just dropped alcohol like that. Like like it's when I first started dating my fiance. Like it was an pretty much an overnight transformation where I was going from drinking every day, all of a sudden we're dating, best news of my life. Stop drinking cold turkey, and I've only gotten drunk 3 times. No, 4 times.
It,
4 times.
it
Four
was
times
it was kind
since.
of the same with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
Yeah. See, I realized like when I stopped smoking weed, or like drinking and that was a little bit before I met my missus. I
Uh
started noticing I was doing a whole bunch of other shit. Like I was getting more active. I wasn't wasting my day just sitting on the couch, or like I would go out and shit and hang out with people. I'd just be stoned the whole time. And I realized like when I stopped smoking weed, I'd still go out, but I'd be a bit more active while I'm out. When I'm home, I'm not just monging out doing stupid shit. I
Mm-hmm.
start picking up books and shit and start reading and being more creative, which
Yeah.
is funny because a lot of people think the most creative people are stoners
Yeah.
because they have the wildest thoughts, but which is true. I mean, if you look at Seth Rogen, I don't think half of his movies would be as funny if he wasn't stoned while he was writing them.
I
Like,
actually don't think a lot of his movies are that funny.
I love Seth Rogen, man. I
they
love Seth Rogen.
they were always funnier when I was stoned. Like Pineapple
Oh yeah,
Express, I can't watch that sober because it's not as funny when I'm sober.
yeah. Well, it is a stoner movie. It is a movie
Yes.
that you have to be stoned to watch. Like,
Yeah.
it's not meant to be funny for a sober mind. It's made to be funny for like when you're stoned and they're doing dumb shit on the screen. And you're like, yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Only watched that
Shit like
movie
that, yeah.
twice. Once when stoned, amazing. The second time, I was clear and sober, and it was like still kind of funny, but not as funny as I remember it.
Yeah, I do love.
Who the fuck watches Grandma's Boy sober? No.
I mean, you could say the same about.
I just lost your audio completely.
Oh fuck! Not again.
You gotta speak. I think it's because you're not speaking into your mic.
It's right here. I'm speaking into it.
Oh.
Yeah, but I think you could say the same thing about Sandler films. Like they're more funny when you're stoned, but I've always just enjoyed his films because I grew up on them. Like I was a kid when they were coming out and everything like that.
I hate Adam Sandler films.
Really?
And I never found them funny. I can't do any like.
I just love the
Adam
vibe of them,
Sandler,
to be honest.
Adam Sandler, and Will Ferrell, both of them. I'm just like,
Oh, Will Ferrell, come on.
nah,
Come
dude.
on.
They're type. I hated Step Brother. I walked.
It's so funny. He put his balls on
I
his
didn't
drum
walk in.
set.
That's not funny to me.
It's fucking hilarious.
You're talking to the guy who's like, you teabagged me? What are you, some kind of like weirdo? Like, I know everyone thought I was going to say something else. But, you know, that kind of humor is just not what I want to. It's not the kind of humor I like. I like witty humor. I like, you know, smart humor. Like MASH. MASH for me, anyone who knows, you know, old television, MASH for me was legendary. Like that's what I loved. That kind of witty humor.
I do like witty humor because it's kind of like smart ass type shit.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy just dumb humor as well. Like I love Will Ferrell movies because it's one of those movies, like those type of movies where you can kind of just dumb out with it as well. Like I kind of just like being idiotic sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I just find it kind of just stupid humor. It's
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's stuff you don't expect.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, I mean, and you know, I'm not shaming anyone for finding that kind of stuff. And it's also one of the main reasons why I can't watch like, you know, The Simpsons or any of those animated cartoons. Like that's not the humor I like. British comedy, I actually do like British comedy. It's a lot wittier. It's still, you know, some of it's not great, but honestly, I have to let you know. I don't know. What? So I recently, you know, not recently, a couple years back, I did rewatch MASH all the way through, and I found out that the word simp isn't a new word. We literally regurgitated it. I was like, this show from like the 70s was using the word simp before Twitch, you know, toxicity got a hold of it. It had a little different meaning though, because it was just a shortened version of, you know, simpleton, you know, which still could be, you know, it's still kind of true, like, you know, but I just thought it hilarious because one of the comebacks was why do you have to be such a simp? And I'm like, did this man just say this in the 70s? I thought this was a problem here in the 20s. You know, like, excuse me?
Recycled humor is usually the funniest too.
Oh, it was glorious because I literally had to pause it, rewind, and make sure that's exactly what he said. You know, it's like,
that's
wow. Yeah.
I fuck with that. I think
gear.
the simp has turned into a toxic thing. I find it funny because I know a lot of people in here, or majority of people in here, do not keep up with the Call of Duty competitive scene. There is a COD pro called Simp. That is his gamer tag and everything, and I would love to just know the reason why he chose that. Like, why would you... It's like having the name Dickhead. Like,
I mean, why not, right?
yeah, I guess.
I mean, that would actually. I mean, I wonder if he came up with that before.
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering too.
Because if he came up with the his Twitch handle being, or his gamer tag handle being simp before it meant what it does, like nowadays. Yeah, he was either a man ahead of his time, or he was just like, yeah, I it used to mean simpleton, and then that was that's how I'm just a video game simpleton, and was like, and that would be freaking crazy. I would love that.
Either that, or video games are just simple to him.
Oh,
like it could be something like that, because this man is like, I know you don't keep up with the competitive scene at all.
No,
this man is like one of the nuttiest players I've ever seen. He's incredible. Like he's the term cracked.
yeah.
Do you see someone who's just cracked at a video game, kind of like Sio with Apex? That man's just cracked.
Yeah,
and it's like it comes easy to them, or it comes simple to them.
mm-hmm.
Like, it's just something that's simple and easy. It's just second nature. That's just how they play things. Cracked.
Yeah.
He is one of those guys.
Yeah,
He
I mean that could
cracked.
be the thing. That's crazy. Speaking of simple things, I wanna talk to you about I want to talk to you about Grand Theft Auto.
Here we go. All right, so you give me flack simply because I want
nice guy 100% of the way. Hold on, answer that question as well. Would you rather be a simp or a nice guy?
A nice guy, I suppose. Yeah. I don't know.
I'd rather be a nice guy, but I'm an asshole, so that's just kind of the way it is. Biker, that's what I am.
I find it funny that so Red calls me a simp all the time. Like, jokingly, of course, but it's usually just because I spend time with my partner.
No, that's just whipped.
Yeah, I suppose, but like, it's not like I'm literally on chains for her. I just...
Yeah, true.
She's my partner. I spend time with her. If I didn't, to not be called a simp, do I just have to like disregard that she exists or something? Like,
pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know. I think any man in a relationship with single friends is automatically a simp.
Yep.
What can I say?
Yeah. But going to Grand Theft Auto. So
yes,
you know who Grove Street, developing is, right?
I did not until you told me yesterday, but you give me a lot of flack on the remastered edition of like the remastered trilogy, and the only reason why I want it is one, just to have it on the Switch. Like, I can have it on the go wherever I am, whereas I can't do that with the old versions, and that it's just not possible.
True.
So if I'm on a road trip or something, or if I'm just chilling at my missus' house, I can take my Switch around there and just kind of jam out. I don't care about the bugs. I don't care about this and that. Like,
it's not even the bugs. It's just like it's a lower quality version of what the old games were.
Yeah, I guess. But still, like, I can have it portably.
So what basically happened was, and this just came out actually pretty damn recently, that the remastered version that Grove Street released under the Rockstar branding is literally a mobile version, like to download on your smartphone.
Oh, I
and
can't. This
play
thing
it.
sucks.
Dude, I'm telling you, it'll look the same on your Switch as it would look on your phone.
The other thing is though, speaking of like, yeah, you could get it on your phone and that. I hate playing games with the touch screen and that.
I
Like
know,
that just
but
feels odd. I'd rather have buttons and sticks for movement
then
and that.
then save yourself some money and just buy one of those little controller devices that will just
Yeah,
clamp onto your phone. Because honestly, like they found out they dived into the actual dev notes and everything, and went into like the actual script of the game. They found an old code that they forgot to take out of literally choose how you want to play, and it's set up for touch screen. It's a literal port. It's a literal
oh, they
port of
fucked
the
up.
mobile version, trying to sell it as, oh, this is for PC remastered. This is also for your Switch. This is also coming to consoles. You want to play the old games? Here's your nostalgia. Here's the thing they fucked up on though. There's no nostalgia on it because the characters are literally look like shit. Like they look worse than they actually did in the beginning. Like
Yeah,
I'm just saying, hold off on buying it until they, actually until Rockstar, they've already taken it away from Grove Street, and there's supposedly going to be holds on updates coming for Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Redemption Online, because now they have to use developers to fix the remaster version. So I'm just saying,
yeah.
a little gaming
I
news.
I won't deny it. It is a very lazy. It's very lazy. I personally think if they were to bring out like I honestly couldn't care about Vice City or GTA 3. They brought out San Andreas, which is the most latest one of the three, the most updated one, more mechanics and everything in it. A great storyline in that. If they just brought that out, remastered, and really remastered it, as in making it look like Red Dead Redemption 2 graphics or GTA 5 graphics, if they want to go like a little bit
That would be a
not too
remake.
far, yeah,
That would be a
yeah,
remake.
it would be a remake then. But like, yeah, like I just wish they like put a little bit more effort into it. But in saying that, I still want to get it. I know I could get a thing for my phone, but this phone is so outdated. It is
I know.
shit. It
You
is
know?
so shit. It's cracks all over the screen, and if I could get it on the Switch, I don't have to worry about having to get one of those.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, wait until it actually, because like you'll be disappointed. You remember what happened with Vanguard? Do you play Vanguard still?
I don't, but I did enjoy it. I will admit I did enjoy it. It's just because I'm gonna buy COD. I've got all of them, so I was gonna buy it regardless just to have it. And I do enjoy I do enjoy the multiplayer side of Call of Duties, but I've always enjoyed the campaigns on them. That's why I wasn't big on Black Ops 4 because they didn't bring out a campaign for it.
Yeah.
They didn't even bother, and I was just like, well, I don't even really want to buy this one,
I'm just
but I
saying,
did.
like, I'd be worried that you'd play, I'm worried that you would play, the trilogy remastered and be like, I'm just like kind of fed up with how poor it looks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
Although
that's just money you wasted on, not playing a game for more than like
true, but
12,
in
15, 20
saying
hours.
in saying that, I am a video. I don't want to move my camera, but I have shelves upon shelves of just stacks of video games. I could go grab a stack now, but what's the point? You can sort of see it, like
Yeah, no, I
right
can
here.
see him in the background. Yeah,
You
I
can
can see
see
him in the
some of them,
background.
and I'm running out of room for them to be honest. But
Yeah.
when I was working, that was something I was doing. I was collecting just piles of games just for as cheap as I
Well,
could get it. I've got
well, you
so
won't be
many
able to.
PS2 games, 360s.
They actually
Yeah,
held off on the console releases, so you can't actually buy like I don't know. Does the Switch have like a
yeah.
cartridge thing or like a disc thing
Yeah,
that
it
you?
does. It does. It's
So you won't.
little cartridges, kind of like the
Oh, like
Nintendo
a.
DS.
Okay, so it's like basically
Yeah,
a micro SD or something. That's actually
yeah,
smart.
yeah.
But you won't be able to get that on your Switch then,
I
because
did see them at EB
they did
Games though, because I think they did have a release date on it, and eventually they will be bringing that out. So I'm not buying it
they delayed
originally.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they delayed it. They delayed all console physical copy releases.
Yeah. The only
So
thing I buy that is digital is stuff that literally don't have a physical release on it. If there is a physical,
yeah,
wait until I get that physical. Simply because I just want to have a collection.
yeah.
And it's not, I don't collect for, oh yeah, in 20 years, I don't collect video games for that.
You don't. So
I
you don't
collect
collect for the
video games.
investment.
No, I don't. I collect it
Yeah.
as like a little hobby in that, and just to have it. So like maybe for when I'm
You're just
40
like my
and that,
girlfriend or my fiance. You're just like my fiance.
yeah, I could tell it's just for the hobby of it because they're not. But it's cool. It's a cool thing to display. Like if I later down the track and I'm 40 years old and I have maybe 2 kids and they're like, or I don't know how old they'd be, but like one turns 10 and goes, "Fuck, I want to play on this," and I'll be like, "Yo, come here, come play this game from my childhood that you would have never been able to play if I didn't collect this at this time."
Yeah.
Like you think when in 20 years down the track when
I
I buy a
just lost
PS2,
all what you just said.
fuck. Yeah, if you okay, think about like in 20 years when I'm 40, do you think you'd be able to buy a PS2?
No.
Exactly. So that's why I went and bought one. I got one while I could, and I collected as much games as I could on it. So if it later down the track, if I feel like I'm for nostalgia trip from when I was 5, I
Yeah.
can be like, yo, I was playing this when it came out at 5 years old. No one can play this unless they have it, and you can't get these anymore. So then you look at it like that, and there's the fun of having the nostalgia of it and just playing the really good old games because there's some incredible games that were made back then. But there's also the other thing is the investment side of it, which I don't care about. But if there comes a time where it's like you can't get PS2s anymore, I don't need it anymore. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
feel the need for it. I don't really want it. I may need money in the future that I fuck it. I'll sell my PS2 for $500.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I collect, and it's all in very good condition as well. I made sure of that,
There you go.
and
There you go.
I'm very good at looking after my stuff. But
Nice.
that's kind of like my reasoning as to why I like. I do want to get the GTA Remastered trilogy. I will wait for it to come on physical because it'll be fun to play on the go on the Switch. And that I enjoy the Switch, so
There's
just
there's
little
another
things like
Pokemon
that.
game. Just get the new Pokemon game.
Yes, I do have that. It's a lot of fun. I've
Well,
already completed
there's
it.
also there's what
There's
the
another one coming out.
Arceus, right, or something like that.
Yes, yes.
I want to play
That
that
is
so bad. I need a
that
Switch,
is
y'all.
broadcasted on the eStore all the time on the Switch.
Hey, does anyone want to
Pre-order
give me a
this
Switch
now.
for Christmas? Like, anyone want to give me a Switch for Christmas? I'll take it.
You know what sucks
I'll
though? When I
I'll
bought my Switch,
I'll sell
I
out for it. What?
I spent like 1,500 on my Switch, not just the console, but for games. I put
Oh,
all this
okay.
money into it, and then a week later, I crashed my car, and I was
Oh.
like, "Fuck! I just spent 1,500 on this shit, and I
Oh God.
need that money to fix my car, but I couldn't fix my car because I just
Mm.
spent all my money on
Yeah.
games."
I already got a Game Boy Joker.
I wish I had a Game Boy.
I got
No, actually,
I got to see if it still works. I can still play Crystal on that bitch.
scratch the Game Boy. I just want a Nintendo DS because it can play pretty much every Game Boy game on there.
I have a 3DS.
3DSs were kind of cool when they came out.
Yeah.
I didn't see the fuss around it. Like, oh yeah, it's 3D. Okay,
I
but
never used the 3D.
they were kind of cool. How like they were trying to step up their technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never used the 3D function, but played all the 3DS games. Pokemon mainly. Pokemon only,
Yeah,
actually.
Pokemon is all I ever played on a Game Boy.
Yeah. All right.
Game Boy Advance with Pokemon Ruby. Ooh,
Oh.
that shit was fucking good.
So we hit 2 hours.
I honestly didn't even realize the time.
I know.
Is it about that time we gonna get on Vigor?
Yeah. And we'll end this here. Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard, we are going to end this right here, right now. But just a couple things. One, we are coming back. We'll be streaming right away. Well, we're gonna, hit the banyo and get a couple drinks and set back up. So we'll be back for in like 5-10 minutes. That being said, though, remember we are at twitch.tv/BigSugah. Point this way. Twitch.tv/XenosAce. What you're watching on right now. We're gonna go hit up the Vigor because we've been maining that game like crazy, and we're actually
great.
We're not terrible at it. Check out our socials. You can find our socials right below us on our new and improved thingamabobber. You can see XenosAce almost clear cut through all the way for me, and BigSugah, BigSugah, BigSugah Live, and BigSugah again right there. Sugar also posted if you're new to the podcast and you want to be like, hey, this community is kind of cool. Sugar did also put in the chat the Discord link. So if you would like to check us out there, more than welcome
also,
to.
Really quickly, be sure.
Self promo.
A lot of people get their Twitch notifications very late. I noticed people coming in 4 hours late because the Twitch notifications glitch out. So if you guys want updated announcements on when we go live, be sure to join the Discord and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah,
we do post when we go live on both platforms.
I don't, not yet. When do we were supposed to have a guest today, fell through.
But it fell through. Yeah. Next week we're gonna have hardware on.
If he can commit to that.
If we can. Hopefully you can.
We need to find
organize it properly this time.
Yeah. But with that being said, y'all, you guys are absolutely beautiful people. We love you. And stay tuned because we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Anything you want to say before goodbye?
Me night.
Bye.
Ciao.